Hi, you guys. Let's talk about a really cool thing, dividing fractions. I love this one. Look in my classroom for the Kellogg's Corn Flakes box, okay? Because Kellogg's Corn Flakes is going to remind you how to divide fractions correctly. Keep, change, flip. You're going to hear me say that a lot. So, the first vocabulary word we've already talked about, reciprocals. Reciprocals are when let's say we started off with a mixed number, -2 and 1/3. Remember, ignore the negative for just a minute. Start at the 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 would give me 7. Now put the negative back on. So it's -7/3. And to flip it, we would write it as -3/7. Notice how the negative stayed on top and I just flipped the fraction. That's a really good idea. All right, look at this example right here. 3/8 divided by 4/5. So the first thing I want you to do is write it out. 3/8 divided by 4/5. And then use our trick. Keep, change, flip. Okay, keep the first fraction the same. 3/8. Change division to multiplying and flip the second fraction. So 4/5 becomes 5/4. And now the rules are the same as multiplying. Look across. There's nowhere I can cross cancel, so I just multiply straight across. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 8 is 32, and I box my answer. Take a look at example 1. Letter A, we have 9/10 divided by 3/20. So use the trick. Keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction, 9/10, change division to multiplying, and flip that second fraction, 20/3. And now look across at the 10 and the 20. 10 goes into both, so I'm going to divide both by 10. Look at the 9 and the 3. 3 goes into both, so I'm going to divide both by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 20 divided by 10 is 2. 10 divided by 10 is 1. And now I just multiply straight across. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 divided by 1 just gives me 6. Okay, let's find the quotient, simplify if possible. So look at number 1. 4/9 divided by -5/6. Keep, change, flip. Keep that first fraction, 4/9. Change division to multiplying. Flip the second fraction, so it becomes -6/5. Remember, the negative stays up on top. Okay, now look across. I see the 9 and the -6. 3 goes into both, so I divided both by 3. So I brought down the 4. 9 divided by 3 gives me 3 down here. -6 divided by 3 gives me -2 up here. And then I brought down the 5. And so now I multiply straight across. 4 times -2 gives me -8. 3 times 5 gives me 15. And I box my answer. Take a look at number 2. 9/16 divided by 3/10. Keep, change, flip. Keep that first fraction the same, 9/16. Change division to multiplying. Flip that second fraction, 10/3. And now look across. With the 16 and the 10, I see that 2 goes into both. With the 9 and the 3, I see that 3 goes into both. So now I just simplified. 9 divided by 3 gives me 3. 16 divided by 2 gives me 8. 10 divided by 2 gives me 5. 3 divided by 3 gives me 1. And now I multiply straight across. 3 times 5 gives me 15 on top. 8 times 1 gives me 8 on the bottom. You can write it as 15/8 or write it as a mixed number. 8 goes into 15 one complete time with 7 left over 8. Take a look at 3. -5/7 divided by -11/14. Keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction the same, -5/7. Change division to multiplying. Flip that second fraction. Leaving the negative upstairs, I flip the numbers. 14 on top, 11 on the bottom. And now look across at the 7 and the -14. I see that 7 goes into both. So I have -5 on top, and then 7 divided by 7 is 1. -14 divided by 7 is -2, and I have the 11 downstairs. And now I multiply straight across. -5 times -2 gives me +10. 1 times 11 gives me 11, and I box my answer. Take a look at number 4. 3 over 8 divided by 6 over 7. Keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction the same, 3 over 8. Change division to multiplying. Flip that second fraction, 7 over 6. And now look across. Well, I see, okay, 3 and 6. I see 3 goes into both, so I divided both by 3. 3 divided by 3 gives me 1. I bring the 8 down, bring the 7 down, and 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. And so now I multiply across. 1 times 7 gives me 7 on top, 8 times 2 gives me 16 on the bottom, and I box my answer. Okay, dividing a fraction by an integer. Here's an example, party favors. You are making 10 small bags of mints to use as party favors. You have a 5/8 pound of mints to divide equally. How much should you put in each bag? Well, remember, we're going to set this up that this is our total. We always take the total that we have, the 5/8 pounds, and we're going to divide it by 10 because we want 10 bags. So 5/8 divided by 10, and remember, we're going to use keep, change, flip. Keep the 5/8, 5 over 8, change division to multiplying. And now we have to flip the 10. Well, remember, first you have to make 10 look like a fraction. That would be 10 over 1. And now you can flip it so that it's 1 over 10. And so now we look across, look at the 5 and the 10, and I see that 5 is the common factor there. So I'm going to divide. 5 divided by 5 leaves me 1. I bring the 8 downstairs. I keep the 1 upstairs, and then 10 divided by 5 leaves me 2. And now I multiply straight across. 1 times 1 leaves me 1 on top. 8 times 2 gives me 16 on the bottom. So we should put 1/16 of a pound of mints in each bag. Okay, let's look at example 3, dividing mixed numbers. We have 4 1/2 divided by -3 3/4. The first thing we have to do is make these mixed numbers turn into improper fractions. So starting at the 2, 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So I write it as 9 over 2. I keep the division sign, and then start at the 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15 over 4, but I bring down that negative, so it's -15 over 4. Now I can do the keep, change, flip. So keep the 9 over 2, change division to multiplying, and flip the -15 over 4. So that becomes -4 over 15. And now let's look across. Look at the 9 and the 15. I see their greatest common factor is 3. And then look at the 2 and the -4. I see their greatest common factor is 2. So I simplify. 9 divided by 3 gives me 3 on top. 2 divided by 2 gives me 1 on the bottom. I copy the times symbol. And then -4 divided by 2 gives me -2 on top. 15 divided by 3 gives me 5 on the bottom. And now I multiply straight across. 3 times -2 gives me -6 on top. 1 times 5 gives me 5 on the bottom. Now I have -6 over 5, or as a mixed number, 5 goes into 6 one complete time with 1 left over. So it would be 1 1/5, and don't forget the negative. Okay, box your answer. Okay, so let's do this guided practice together. Look at number 5, 8 2/3 divided by 2. So the first thing is we have to make everything look like fractions. So start at the 3. 3 times 8 is 24. 24 plus 2 is 26. So I have 26 over 3 divided by, and now make the 2 look like a fraction, 2 over 1. Now you can use the trick. Keep, change, flip. Keep that first fraction the same, 26 over 3. Change division to multiplying, and flip the second fraction, so it becomes 1 over 2. And now look across at the 26 and 2. I see that they have a common factor of 2. And so 26 divided by 2 is 13. Bring down the 3, bring down the times, bring down the 1, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So 13 times 1 gives me 13 on top. 3 times 1 gives me 3 on the bottom. And now change this improper fraction to a mixed number. 3 goes into 13 4 complete times with 1 left over. And so we put the leftover 1 over 3. Take a look at number 6. Negative 10 and 4/5 divided by 18. Remember, make everything look like fractions. So start at the 5. 5 times 10 is 50, plus 4 would be negative 54 over 5. Copy the division, and then make the 18 look like a fraction, 18 over 1. Now you can do the trick. Keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction the same, negative 54 over 5. Change division to multiplying, and flip that second fraction so it becomes 1 over 18. And now look across at the negative 54 and 18. 18 is the greatest common factor, so divide both by 18. Negative 54 divided by 18 gives me negative 3. Bring the 5 down, bring the time symbol down, bring the 1 on top down, and then 18 divided by 18 is 1. And now multiply across. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. 5 times 1 is 5. And box your answer. Take a look at number 7. 8 and 1/4 divided by 1 and 5/6. So remember, make everything look like fractions. Start at the 4. 4 times 8 is 32. 32 plus 1 is 33 over 4. Copy the division sign, and then start at the 6. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 5 gives me 11, so it's 11 over 6. Now you can use the trick. Keep, change, flip. Keep that first fraction the same, 33 over 4. Change division to multiplying, and flip that second fraction, so it's 6 over 11. And now look across. At the 4 and the 6, I see 2 goes into both. At the 33 and the 11, I see 11 goes into both. So 33 divided by 11 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 11 divided by 11 is 1. And now I multiply straight across. 3 times 3 gives me 9. 2 times 1 gives me 2, so it could be 9 over 2, or as a mixed number, 2 goes into 9 4 complete times with 1 left over. So it would be 4 and 1/2.